Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today I'm going to talk about a case that called Apple Inc. in 2020. So you know that Apple is the most successful. No, I think it's one of successful brand or companies in the world. Almost everyone knows Apple because of their products like Apple, MacBook, Apple Watch, and AirPods. However, even though Apple was very successful in 2020, the company was facing some serious challenge. Like so, in this video, I will explain three things. For the first, I will summarize the main point from the case, and then the second is I will connect Apple strategy to our ICP school system, and third, I will share my personal reflection and what I learned from Tim Cook's leadership. So let's start with background of Apple. So, Apple was founded in 1976 by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. So the company first became famous because personal computers. So later, Apple introduced products that completely changed different industry. And in 2001, Apple launched the iPod. And then in 2007, Apple launched iPhone. And in 20, 2010, Apple launched iPad. So this product helped Apple become one of the most successful or the most valuable companies in the world. Uh, for many years, Steve Jobs was Steve Jobs was the face of Apple. He was known as a visionary leader. So he focused on innovation, design, and creating product that people did not even know. Yeah, people didn't even know they want. So after Steve Jobs passed away in 2011, Tim Cook became the CEO, and many people were worried about Apple's future because Steve Jobs such an important figure to Apple. However, Tim Cook proved that he was capable of leading the company. So under Tim Cook, Apple maybe become the first company to reach a market value of more than $1 trillion. Then, even with the success, Apple faced a big challenge in 2000 in 2020. The first major issue was the hardware maturity crisis. For a long time, Apple depend heavily on hard, hardware products, especially the iPhone. So the iPhone generate most of Apple revenue and profit. So the problem was that by 2020, products like iPhone and iMac had become major products. Most customers already own this device. So in the early years of smartphone, people were excited to buy new phones because every generation brought major improvements. So the screen become better, the camera get better, battery improve, then the phone become maybe I can say faster. So every year there was something new and exciting, but over time innovation this innovation becomes slower. So the difference between one iPhone generation and the next generation becomes smaller. So when people feel that their their current phone was already good enough. Because of that, customers start keeping their phone for longer periods. Instead of changing phones every 1 year or 2 years, some people keep their phones for 3, 5, or maybe 6 years, I think. So this created a problem for Apple. If customer upgrade less often, sales growth would slow down. So Apple's iPad business also faced a similar situation. Many customer mm, is like bought an iPad and continue using it for many years. So there was little reason to replace it frequently. The Mac business also faced the same situation, because the global PC market was maybe slowing down. Yes. So another problem came from competition. So company like Samsung, Huawei, Xiaomi, and Oppo were selling smartphone with strong feature at the lower price than Apple. So this was especially important in developing countries. Many countries, no, many consumer want a good smartphone, but uh, afraid afford could not afford Apple's price. So as a result, Apple uh, found it difficult to grow in some markets. So China was another important challenge. Yeah, China was one of the biggest markets, and also one of Apple's most important maybe manufacturing location. Yeah, however, the trade war between U.S. and China created uncertainty. Yeah, uncertainty and political tension mm, affected business confidence and future growth experience or future growth expectation. Then another major problem appeared, the COVID-19 pandemics. COVID-19 was affected the entire world. Yeah, so factories stopped operating normally. Yeah, so the supply chains were disrupted. Yeah, stores closed and consumer become more careful with spending. So people focus more on essential needs instead of buying expensive technology products, because uh, of all these factories, Apple need a new strategy for further growth. So this brings us to the second major topic of the case. Yeah, so the strategic shift toward service. Pincock understood Apple that Apple could not really only have on hardware forever. The company need another source of growth. Uh, Fortunately, Apple had one huge advantage. And by 2020, Apple had more than 1 billion active iPhone users. So this was a massive customer base. Yeah, Tim Cook saw an opportunity. Instead of making money only when customer bought a new device, Apple could make money uh, continuously through the service. So this is called recurring revenue. So recurring revenue means customer continue paying regularly over time. For an example, if someone subscribe to maybe Apple Music every month, Apple receive revenue every month. If someone pays uh, iCloud storage, Apple will receive revenue every month. So this create a more stable business model. Yeah, so Apple expanded many services. One example was Apple Music. Apple Music competed directly with Spotify. Instead of buying songs individually, consumer could pay a month free and access millions of songs. Another example was Apple TV Plus. Apple entered the video streaming industry, and companies with Netflix, Disney Plus, and Amazon Prime Video. Uh, and Apple invested billions of dollars to create original content and attract subscribers. Apple also launched Apple Arcade. Apple Arcade was maybe it's a gaming subscription service. Yeah, instead of buying game one by one, user could pay a monthly fee and access a collection of games. And another important service was Apple Pay. Apple Pay is allow customer to make digital payment using their iPhone or Apple Watch. So the service compete with bank, credit cards, Google Pay, Samsung Pay, and many other payment system. And Apple also offered iCloud. Yeah, iCloud is allow user to store photo, videos, or document and other files online. So this made easier to move between Apple device. And Apple Care. Next is Apple Care. Apple Care was I think provided protection plans, repair, and customer support for Apple products. Together, their service become an increasingly important source of revenue. Yeah, service offered another advantage. They help strengthen customer loyalty. When customers use Apple Music, Apple Pay, iCloud, or other, they become more connected to the Apple ecosystem. So leaving Apple become more difficult because many part of their digital life are connected to Apple service. So this create long-term in relationship with customer. However, Apple move into service created a new challenge. This challenge was in the ecosystem dilemma, I think. So Tim Cook had to answer a difficult question. Should Apple remain a hardware first company or become a service first company? So this question is very important. Traditionally, Apple focused on hardware. Apple create a premium device and use service to make those device more valuable, and the ecosystem encourage customer to buy more Apple product. If for example, if someone bought an iPhone, they might later buy AirPods, Apple Watch, or MacBook. Yeah, everything worked together smoothly. Yeah, so this was one of the Apple biggest strengths. However, if Apple want to maximize service growth, it called make its service available on more platform. For example, Netflix works on almost every device. Spotify works on almost every device. The customer can use this service whether they own Apple products or not. So if Apple follow the same strategy, it could reach many more customers. But there was a risk. If Apple service was become available everywhere, Apple hardware might become less special. Yeah, customer might choose cheaper device while still using Apple service. Therefore, Apple faced a difficult trade-off. Sold service support hardware sales, or sold service become independent business. But there was no easy answer. But option had advantage and disadvantage. So now I would like to move to the second part of my video, the contextual reflection for our SAP school system. I think there are Many lessons that ICP can learn from Apple. The first lesson wait, is about long term relationship. Many schools focus mainly on enrollment. Students join the school, study for several years, graduate, and leave. Yeah, however, I think schools can learning something for Apple. Apple does not stop building relationship after customer buy an iPhone. Instead, Apple keeps providing service that make customers stay connected to the company. Yeah, and school can do something similar lah. After student graduate, and the relationship should not completely end. Through alumni programs and networking opportunities, former students can stay connected and continue supporting each other. And another lesson is about building an ecosystem. Apple, yeah, Apple products and service work together, creating a smooth experience for user. In the same way, ICP can connect academic programs, leadership activities, competition, and alumni networks into one strong community. And I also think ICP can learn from Apple, focus on quality. Yeah, Apple does not try to be the cheapest company. Instead it focus on providing unique experience and strong value. Likewise, ICP can focus on educational quality, leadership development, and international opportunities rather than only increasing student numbers. And finally, Apple challenge between keeping a closed ecosystem or expanding to more users is similar to ICP's challenge of maintaining quality while continue to grow. Expanding can create more opportunities, but quality must always remain the priority. And for my personal takeaway, the most interesting part of this case is the difference between Steve Jobs and Tim Cook. Yeah, Steve Jobs was known for creativity, innovation, and bold ideas. Yeah, he created products that changed entire industry. And Tim Cook's on the other hand, focus more on strategy, operation, and long-term growth. Instead of relying only on new products, he expand Apple service and strengthen its ecosystem. And in my opinion, both leaders were important. Steve Jobs built Apple Foundation, while Tim Cook helped Apple adapt to a changing market. So, in conclusion, Apple transition from hardware to service shows the important innovation, flexibility, and long-term thinking. So these lessons are useful not only for business, but also for schools and future leaders like us.